My mom's infidelity tore our family apart, and when I exposed her secret, she made me the villain. Now she's punishing me in ways I never expected. I still can't believe this is my life right now. I, 17F, live with my mom, 36F, dad, and siblings, 5F, 12M, 16M. My mom and I have always had a strained relationship, but things took a turn recently that I can't shake off. It started one night when my dad wasn't home. I was babysitting my siblings like usual, but my mom told me she was running out for a bit. It seemed off, especially when she took my car. Later, she casually mentioned that the guy she was meeting used some kind of scanner on my car. It was weird and unsettling, but I brushed it off until my dad brought it up yesterday. My dad and mom had gone to the store together, and out of nowhere, he mentioned the scanner thing. My heart sank. My mom must have realized I'd told him because she immediately called me furious. The call barely lasted a minute before she hung up, and when they got home, everything exploded. She was screaming, blaming me for ruining her marriage because I told my dad the truth. It felt like she was trying to shift all her guilt onto me. My dad joined the argument, and by the end of the night, they announced, once again, that they're getting divorced. They've made this claim so many times, but they never actually follow through. Still, her words hurt. What really broke me, though, was what happened after. She told me she doesn't trust me anymore. I could have handled that, but now she's gone full passive-aggressive. She barely speaks to me, ignores me completely, and only shows care to my brothers and little sister. She makes sure they're fed and taken care of while acting like I don't even exist. The silence is worse than the yelling. Every moment feels like I'm waiting for her to lash out again. I've always walked on eggshells around her, but now it's like every step might set off a mine. I feel anxious all the time, like I can't breathe in my own home. My dad and brother have both told me it's not my fault. They've tried to remind me that she's the one who made these choices, not me. But still, I feel awful, like I've somehow made everything worse. It's so hard to focus on anything. I'm homeschooled, but how can I concentrate when my life feels like it's falling apart? I don't know how to move forward from this. Any progress I'd made in my relationship with her has been completely erased. And now, I'm just stuck in this unbearable tension. The worst part? It's the start of a new year, and I thought things might be different. Instead, it feels like everything is crashing down around me. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to make it through this. Update 1. Things have escalated in ways I didn't expect, and I'm not sure how to process it all. After my mom's explosive reaction, the house has been filled with this unbearable tension, but it's also weirdly quiet. She's still barely speaking to me. When she does, it's laced with sarcasm or subtle jabs that make my stomach twist. It's like she's perfected this way of making me feel small without actually yelling anymore. I tried to sit down and eat dinner with everyone last night, thinking maybe things would feel normal again. Big mistake. She got up halfway through, took her plate to the sink, and loudly said, "Guess some people just love ruining families." Right as she walked out of the room, my siblings just stared at me. My little sister even asked, "What does she mean?" I didn't have an answer. I was mortified. My dad pulled me aside later and said he's going to talk to her. I don't know what he thought that would accomplish, but nothing changed. If anything, she's gotten worse. She keeps doing this thing where she talks around me when I'm in the room, as if I'm not even there. She'll ask my brothers and sister if they need anything, completely skipping over me, even if I'm sitting right next to them. She's gone from ignoring me to outright trying to erase me. What really hit me, though, was something my little sister said. She crawled into my bed last night, clutching her stuffed animal, and asked, "Did you make Mommy mad? Why doesn't she like you anymore?" I didn't know what to say. How do you explain to a 5-year-old that their mom is upset because I told the truth? I just hugged her and said, "It's not your fault," which seemed to calm her down, but it didn't make me feel any better. The next day, while I was trying to focus on my homeschooling, my mom came into the room looking furious. Apparently, one of her friends had called her to gossip about the latest drama in town. and the conversation somehow shifted to our family's drama. She turned on me and accused me of spreading our business. I was stunned. I haven't said a word to anyone outside this house. Who would I even tell? I don't have many close friends, and the ones I do have are too busy with their own lives to care about my family drama. I told her that, but she just scoffed and said, "Funny how things get out, though." She's convinced I'm actively trying to ruin her life, and nothing I say changes her mind. It's exhausting. I feel like I'm constantly defending myself for things I didn't even do. One of the only things keeping me sane is my older brother, 16M. He's been a rock through all of this, always reminding me that I didn't do anything wrong. The other night, when I was on the verge of a breakdown, he sat on the floor of my room with me, handing me tissues and letting me vent. He said, "Mom's just mad because she got caught. She knows she's in the wrong, but it's easier for her to blame you than admit it." Hearing him say that helped a little, but it didn't make the weight in my chest go away. Meanwhile, my dad has been surprisingly chill about the whole thing. He keeps telling me he's working on it and that he's got my back, but I don't know what that actually means. He hasn't really confronted her in any meaningful way, and I don't think he ever will. It's like he's just waiting for the storm to pass, but I'm the one stuck in the middle of it. The weirdest part? My mom's been posting on Facebook like everything is fine. She's uploading pictures of the family at Christmas and New Year's, making it look like we're all one big happy unit. In one post, she even called me her amazing daughter and said how proud she was of me. I don't know if it's for show or if she genuinely believes her own lies, but it's infuriating. How can she pretend everything's perfect online while treating me like a stranger in real life? This whole situation has also started to mess with my homeschooling. I used to be able to focus, but now, every time I sit down to study, my mind goes straight to what's happening at home. I can't concentrate. My grades are slipping, and I'm falling behind on my assignments. I tried to talk to my dad about it, hoping he'd step in and help, but all he said was, "Just do your best. Don't let her get to you." Easier said than done when your own mother is acting like you don't exist. I've also started to notice how this is affecting my siblings. My little sister has been extra clingy lately, always wanting to sit next to me or hold my hand. My younger brother, 12M, has been staying in his room more, avoiding everyone. And my older brother, while supportive, has started to lose patience with my mom. He got into a shouting match with her yesterday, accusing her of acting like a child. She didn't take that well. The tension in the house is so thick you could cut it with a knife. I've thought about leaving. I'm 17, so I'm close to being an adult, but I don't have anywhere to go. Plus, I don't want to abandon my siblings. They're dealing with this just as much as I am, and I feel like I need to be there for them, even if it's hard. But staying here feels impossible. Every day, I wake up wondering what fresh hell is waiting for me. The worst part is, I can't see a way out. My mom's not going to change. My dad's not going to step up. And I'm stuck in this toxic environment, trying to keep my head above water. I just want things to be normal again, but I don't even know what normal looks like anymore. Update 2. The situation at home has taken a turn I didn't expect, and it's messing with my head even more. My mom's passive-aggressive behavior has gone from bad to outright spiteful. She's started doing these little things that feel targeted, like making dinner for everyone, but forgetting to set a plate for me, or leaving me out of family discussions. Yesterday, she planned a family movie night, complete with snacks and everything, and didn't even tell me about it. I found out when I walked into the living room and saw everyone already settled in. When I asked if I could join, she said, "I didn't think you'd want to spend time with us." It felt like a slap in the face. My siblings are starting to notice too. My younger brother, 12M, pulled me aside after that incident and asked why Mom is being so mean. He said, "You didn't do anything wrong, right?" I wanted to cry. How do I explain this to him without making him hate our mom? I just told him it's complicated and that I'm fine, but I could tell he didn't believe me. Things came to a boiling point 2 nights ago. My mom was going on another rant about how I'm selfish and untrustworthy. I tried to stay quiet and let her finish because arguing with her always makes things worse, but then she crossed a line. She said, "You're just like your dad, always trying to ruin things for me." That hurt. My dad isn't perfect, but he's been the only parent consistently on my side. I snapped back and told her that if anyone was ruining the family, it was her, not me. She lost it. She started yelling about how ungrateful I am, how I have no idea what she's been through, and how she's sacrificed so much for me. Then, she stormed out of the room and slammed the door. I could hear her crying in her bedroom, but I didn't go after her. I couldn't. I just sat there, shaking, wondering if I'd made everything worse. After that, my dad tried to talk to her, but it didn't go well. He came out of their room looking exhausted and said, "She needs time to cool off." That's his solution to everything. Let her cool off, wait for things to blow over. But nothing ever blows over. The tension just keeps building and building until something else sets her off. The weirdest thing is, she's been texting me as if nothing's wrong. She'll send me random messages during the day like, "Don't forget to take out the trash," or "Did you finish your schoolwork?" It's so jarring because in person, she won't even look at me. I don't know if she's trying to act normal or if she just doesn't care anymore. Either way, it's messing with my head. My schooling has officially taken a back seat. I'm so far behind on assignments that I don't even know where to start. My dad keeps saying he'll help me catch up, but he hasn't done much beyond offering vague encouragement. I feel like I'm drowning. Every time I sit down to work, all I can think about is what's happening at home. It's like my brain won't let me focus on anything else. My little sister, 5F, has been extra clingy lately. She keeps asking if I'm mad at mom or if mom is mad at me. It breaks my heart. She doesn't understand what's going on, and I hate that she's caught in the middle of all this. I've been spending more time with her, trying to make sure she feels loved and safe, but it's hard when I barely feel those things myself. And then there's my older brother, 16M. He's still my biggest support system, but even he's starting to show cracks. Last night, he told me he's thinking about moving out when he turns 18. He said, "I can't live like this anymore." I get it. I really do. But the thought of him leaving makes me feel even more trapped. If he's gone, who's going to have my back? Who's going to help me deal with all this? To make things even more complicated, my mom's friends have started getting involved. One of them called me out of the blue and said, "You should apologize to your mom. She's really hurt." I didn't even know what to say. Apologize? For what? For telling the truth? For not covering up her mistakes? I just hung up. I couldn't deal with it. I've been thinking a lot about what my dad said about letting her cool off, and I've realized something. I don't think she ever will. This isn't just about me telling the truth. It's about her refusing to take responsibility for her actions. She doesn't want to admit that she's in the wrong, so she's using me as a scapegoat. And as long as she can blame me, she doesn't have to face the reality of her choices. I wish I could say I have a plan, but I don't. Right now, I'm just trying to survive each day without falling apart. My dad keeps telling me to stay strong, but it's hard when the person who's supposed to love and support you is the one tearing you down. I don't know what the future holds, but I do know one thing. I can't keep living like this. Update 3. It's over. The storm I've been living in has finally hit its peak, and while I'm still reeling, I think this might actually be the start of something better, or at least something different. A few days ago, my mom and I had what I can only describe as the fight to end all fights. It started small, as these things usually do. I was sitting at the kitchen table trying to catch up on schoolwork when she came in and started making comments under her breath. I ignored her at first, but then she said something about how I was, just like my father, a liar who can't mind their own business. That did it. I snapped. I told her everything I'd been holding in. The way she's treated me, the constant blaming, the passive-aggressive jabs. I told her how much it hurt to see her care for everyone else while acting like I didn't exist. I told her I was tired of being the scapegoat for her mistakes. She yelled back, calling me ungrateful and accusing me of trying to destroy her life. It was like every horrible thing we've both been thinking came pouring out all at once. At some point, my dad came into the room and tried to intervene. He told us both to calm down, but neither of us listened. I don't even remember everything that was said. It's all a blur of yelling and tears. What I do remember is my mom finally screaming, "I wish you'd just leave if you hate it here so much," and storming out of the house. That broke me. I went to my room and just sat there, crying, feeling completely worthless. My dad came in after a while and said, "You don't have to put up with this anymore. We'll figure something out." For the first time, it felt like he was really on my side, not just saying it, but actually meaning it. The next morning, my dad and I had a long talk. He told me that he's been trying to keep the peace for the sake of the family, but he realizes now that it's only made things worse. He said he's finally going through with the divorce. This time, he seemed serious. He even started making calls to a lawyer that same day. As for my mom, she's been staying with one of her friends since the fight. She hasn't come back yet, and honestly, I don't know if I want her to. Part of me feels guilty for thinking that, but the other part is just relieved to have a break from the constant tension. My siblings seem relieved too. The house feels quieter, calmer. It's strange, but it's a good kind of strange. And I've been spending more time with my siblings, trying to help them process everything. My little sister keeps asking if mom is coming back, and I don't know how to answer her. My older brother has been talking about moving out more seriously now. He's been saving up money from his part-time job and looking at places he might be able to afford once he turns 18. I'm happy for him, but it's bittersweet. I'll miss having him around. As for me, I've been looking into finishing my last year of high school through an online program that's more structured than what I've been doing. My dad said he'll support me in whatever I decide, and for the first time, I actually believe him. It feels like he's stepping up in a way he hasn't before. I don't know what's going to happen with my mom. She hasn't contacted me directly, but she did send a message to my dad saying she wants to talk things out when she gets back. I'm not sure if I'm ready for that. Part of me wants to try to fix things, but another part feels like I've already given her so many chances, and nothing ever changes. For now, I'm focusing on rebuilding myself. I've started journaling to work through my emotions, and I'm trying to reconnect with friends I've drifted away from. It's not easy, but it feels like a step in the right direction. I've learned a lot through all of this. I've learned that sometimes people, especially the ones who are supposed to love you the most, won't take responsibility for their actions, and you can't force them to. I've learned that it's okay to stand up for yourself, even if it feels like the whole world is against you. And I've learned that healing isn't linear. It's messy and hard, but it's worth it. This isn't the ending I wanted, but it's the one I've got. And for the first time in a long time, I think I'm okay with that.